Okay, the next tech tool I'm going to show you is Wix, and I use Wix. Like I had to use it in my undergrad. I now use it in my classroom for students to build a portfolio. Um, and I know there are other ways to build a portfolio, but this way my students leave with something that they can actually present to employers. Um, it also can set them apart even if the employer doesn't ask for it. So specifically after they graduate and let's say they go into a marketing firm, they can see that they're already making themselves marketable by presenting this this online portfolio. So, so the first thing you do is open whichever browser you use, whatever your preference is, and you go to Wix.com. Now, what's really cool about Wix is that no matter how old the site is, you can still vamp it up. Okay. Um, so like this one is the one that I had to create in college, and so I'll just show you guys like kind of what I expect, what I ask my students to do. Like, if I'm not willing to do it, I don't ask my students to do it. So like I said, this is one that I created in college. So they have to have a professional photo of themselves that they can present. So this is a professional photo of me that I took when I was in college. They have to have a welcome statement. So basically, welcoming the employer or the visitor to their page. Um, they have to have a header. So the header tells you what links to go to, what that page is about, and then they have to have a footer. I tell them that my personal social medias are not something that I have anything to hide. Therefore, when employers want to go look at them, that is fine. I encourage them to go look at my social media because that's where I can showcase the places I've been, the friends I make, the things I like to do in my free time. It can showcase my personality through social media. I tell my students you should never put anything on social media that you are not comfortable with. Therefore, if they do have inappropriate things on social media, I mean, it's already out there, but clean up your social media. Um, so, let's, they have to have an About Me page. And this is where they can showcase themselves some more. So kind of share a little about them. So on here, these are like places I've been. It's talking about my family, where I went to school, my major, what I was involved in. This showcases the places I've been. So this is where I went to Boston. This is Maine. This was my National Honor Society. We were nationally ranked, and so we placed first at nationals, and so that was kind of a big deal. Special Olympics, I love to be involved with Special Olympics. My family, I went to Niagara Falls, Colorado, the sorority I was a part of when I was in school. And then this just showcases more places I've been, what else I like to do. So I coached a volleyball team and we placed first. So that was an awesome accomplishment. It's the first time I coached and we placed first. So that was awesome. Um, trying to see. So basically, like this is where I allow my students to show you, be you on this page. This is their final project they have to complete for me. Everything that we've done throughout the year in desktop publishing and now in business tech, you have to bring it all into this portfolio. So we do a resume. They have to showcase their resume. I'm very picky with resumes because people, that's something that you'll use outside of high school, definitely. So their resume, they have to have work samples. So this is things that they've done in school that they're proud of, things that they really did well on, that they want to showcase, that they should brag about. So like, for example, this is a university flyer that I had to create for the entire university about what our honor society was wanting to do. So this was one that I created to kind of, give a description of who we are, what we do, why we are doing this. Um, you know, um, and I created this in InDesign, so it shows my upper design technology or tech skills. This was one of the publications we had to showcase to the national board when we got first. Students then have to get testimonials, which are basically where people are talking about you. It's basically like a reference. Um, so this was my high school principal, this was my advisor, and then this was the place I worked for while I was on campus. And then their contact me page. So let's say the employer looks at this, they like it, they can shoot them an email right here from this page. So they have to create this from scratch. They can use a template, however, I do require them that it has to be like completely plain. So, like let's just say we're creating a new site. So you just click create a new site after you've created your account. Um, since my students do a portfolio, we will use portfolio. However, this site, as you can see, you can use for numerous reasons. So like if you make your students do a blog, they can create their own blog here. If you have them, do events, they're advertising events, maybe you have them go through there. Eventually in my career path, I would like my students to do an online store with our FBLA, so that's something that maybe that's where we would look into via Wix. So anyway, for time's sake, we're going to go to portfolio. And this is where I give my students the option. You can either choose a template or you can just start now, where you can just go ahead and choose your freedom. The sky is beyond the limit. So just for time's sake, we're just going to choose a template. And there are actually newer ones since last year, which is kind of cool and it excites me for this year. So this is the one I used, and I used the template whenever I had to do this in my college class. Um, and you can kind of see it kind of resembles that. However, like I've had a lot of students do, there used to be a circle one. Um, Anyway, the students choose which one they want to do and they customize it to fit them. This portfolio should showcase them. So like, for example, each color on my pages are different. Because I like to have fun. I'm very an organized person, so like as you can see, everything is in line or everything is in place. Um, so I mean, let's just for time's sake, let's just click on one. I'm going to go back to the first page and I'm actually going to kind of play with some of the newer ones. I think this one's a new one. So when you choose the one you want, if you want to view it up close, get a better idea of what it looks. Oh, this is the one I was talking about that students pick a lot of the time. But if you already know that you like this one, then you can just click edit. And then from here is when it will load the site, and then you can make whatever changes. You can delete, you can add pages, you can delete pages, you can add color, whatever you would like to do. Now, Wix is free up until you want your domain to appear in Google. Um, then you have to pay for that. However, for my students' sake, they just have to publish the site, and publishing allows other people that have the link to view it. So they just have to publish it, send me the link so I can view it and grade it, provide them feedback, and then that's how they can share it with their employers as well. I tell my students if they want to pay the money to get it um, to appear in Google, then they can, but that's not a requirement of mine. So this would be my header up here where I can change the way it's viewed. If I didn't like the way that appeared. This is my pages up here. So if I wanted to add a page, I can add a page, and this may be where I put like my about me page. There we go. Computer was taking some time. Okay, so then I just click done, and then now that page is on there. And now I'm even on that page. So it says page and it says about me. So this is now that I've added this, like I can customize this page. So this says change background color. Sure. You can have videos. I tell my students to be careful with videos. Unless it's really describing you, it can be very distracting. So to do the complete opposite of what I say, I'm going to pick a video background. It may appear slow because my internet's not exactly the best. So yep, here we go. We can add, again, the possibilities are endless here. We can add shapes, we can add text boxes, we can add a button. A button allows us to link it to an object. So like if I wanted this to be a download button, every time you click this, you'll download whatever I link that button to download. So for example, in my resume, this is a button. Okay, when you click download, it will download my resume in a PDF version. Okay, um, you can add video. So let's say I did a really cool thing. So I actually went skydiving, and so maybe that's something I want to showcase in my portfolio, that I love to do things like that in my free time. So I put my video of me skydiving on there. Um, my gallery, whenever I had my slideshow of places I'd been, that's where I got my gallery. You can also add apps, and some apps, of course, cost and some don't. Apps like this would be like my footer down here. These are apps because when I click on them, it will take me to my page. So let's just say Pinterest. If I want them to view my Pinterest board, you click on the link and it takes you to Pinterest. Another add-on that I have, oh, I'm sorry, it was on the resume page. Another add-on that I have is this PDF viewer. Okay, so right here, this allows you to view my work samples. So that's a PDF viewer. I couldn't just upload those. I had to add something from the market. You can upload your own photos or anything else you have. If I wanted to change my background again, this is how I can change it. If I wanted to view it, so right now it's playing. When I hit preview up here, that's when I can actually see like what my page looks like, how other people are going to view it, what it looks like if everything's flowing together. So like this is a sidebar that appeared with his, and I can exit out of that if I don't like that. So anyway, this is just like a quick tutorial on Wix. It's one of those things you kind of just have to dive in, start working on it. If you're doing coding, then you can add the coding basics to this, and where your students are having to code their own websites as well. But honestly, allowing your students to be creative and creating their own with Wix is awesome, and it's free. And then, like I said, when my students are done, I just make them publish it, and then this is the link that they get. So it says get a free, and I click, right here. This is maybe where I put like student example, and I click save and continue. Okay, from that point, like it's gonna save it, and then it's gonna preview that, and that's just this right here is what my students need to send me. So they would just copy and paste that and then send that to me. So that's just like a quick tutorial on Wix. I definitely say give it a try. Maybe more with upper division classes, especially seniors. This is a college level assignment that was given to me when I was a senior in college, so I pushed my students to do this as well. And that way they're leaving with a hands-on project that they can actually use in the real world. So it's very beneficial. I would say my students and my employers are my potential audience. And then lastly, my standards are ISTE students, and then ISTE educators. I have student 3C and educator 5B.